Listen, this video is going to be short today, maybe about 5 to 10 minutes. I just want to encourage someone who feels that they are in a certain place and they have been stuck there for a while and they are unhappy. If you feel that you're not in this place right now, but you know someone who is, you know a coworker, you know a friend, a family member, I want you to share this with them. Share, share, share. Before I get started, I need to personally thank those who always thumbs up my videos and comment on every video. That is so important for my engagement. What you are actually doing is you are taking my encouraging word and you are bringing it to new people, and I appreciate that. So I want to say thank you. Now, for those who have not already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so that you will be notified every time I upload a new video. Also, don't be afraid to comment and share this video, okay? I kind of took notes here so I didn't forget anything. In these days and times, we are facing so many things and we have many desires, and some of our desires have not been met. A lot of times when you are in a place that you don't want to be in, because you've been in this place for a long time, you find yourself feeling distracted. You find yourself feeling discouraged. You find yourself feeling defeated, distressed. I'm going to be watching and looking at my notes a little bit because I don't want to leave out anything that I have documented, because this is important to me. I want to encourage someone and let you know that you can make it, and let you know that there is an opportunity for you to get out of that place. A lot of us are facing giants in our life, but I want you to know that there is nothing bigger than God. I don't like to see people in distress. This tells me a lot of times that they are looking within, and when you look within, a lot of times you are not pleased with what you see. I don't want you to feel defeated. When you feel defeated, a lot of times it's because you keep looking back. Sometimes you're looking back, you're looking or living in the past. I understand that we are facing some giants in our life. Some of us are going through some things. We have some sick family members. There's some things that we've been waiting on, and we've been waiting for a long time. We desire many things, or maybe we just desire one thing. If you want to get out of that place that you are in and you want to be dynamic in your life and dynamic in God, you have to look to God. I know that sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes we get discouraged. And it makes it hard to hold on, but it's not impossible to hold on. I was reading the other day, and I was reading the book of Numbers. I was in the 13th chapter. After I read the chapter, I realized that that chapter spoke volumes to me, and it spoke about fear versus risk. I know that many have read this book, this chapter, so you know it's talking about the Israelites and how that they were wandering in the wilderness for years, many years. So you know that they were tired, they were frustrated, they were weary, just as we are, you know, in this day and time, about certain things that we have been waiting on or asking God to do for us. They felt that same way. I don't want you to think that they didn't have a goal. They had a goal, and their goal was to make it into the promised land. Now, our goal in these days and times may not be that, but our goal may be to obtain our degree. It may be to advance our career, to change careers. It may be to get married. It may be to have a family. We have many, many goals, but this was their particular goal. Now, in this story, they assigned 12 men as spies. and asked them to go into Canaan and to report back to them. This is why they sent spies there. They thought that this land may be better than the land that they were living in, and they were looking for a change. What I saw in this is sometimes you have to step out. When reading verses 18 through 20, I realized that they were given instructions. They were told what they need to look for and what information that they needed to bring back to Moses, to the Israelites. So for 40 days, the spies wandered over the entire land. Verses 27 and 28 tells us that they brought back the report. When they brought back the report, it was a mixed report. Now you're wondering why I would say that it was a mixed report. Here's why. It talked about how that there was fruit there. It was a land of milk and honey. All of that started good. And then it talked about that there were giants there, even after they heard what they heard, and that it was a mixed report. This sounded like an enticing invitation for them. Can you imagine being somewhere for 40 years and someone brings back a report and tells you, listen, the food is great over there, the fruit is great there. Of course they were frightened about the giants, but they were also excited about the resources there in the land. Now, what stands out even more to me in this story is Caleb. Now, why does Caleb stand out to me so much? It's because Caleb became the man of the hour and he stepped up. He stepped up in a way by saying, hey, why don't we go over and just take this land? What I like about this is Caleb knew that it could certainly be done. Unlike us in these days and times, we forget that it's possible and that it can be done and that we can have it and that we can have the desires of our heart. Caleb saw all the possibilities in that land. He saw that it was certainly worth it. Sometimes we have to take a risk and we have to know that it's worth it in our life. Sometimes we have to wait on things and we have to know that it's worth it. A lot of times we don't take that risk because we have lost faith. We don't believe that it can be done. We don't believe that we can have it. We may not believe that we're worth it. So we don't take that risk. We look at the obstacles, as I said, before us. So we don't take those risks because they look so big. But let me tell you something. There's nothing too hard for God to do or that's bigger than God. And I know I said this before, but you need to understand this. You have to hold on. Don't give up. It's worth the wait. I have to say this, a lack of faith has us doubting God, not believing that God can move whatever obstacle that is in our way. In verse 28, it's relatable because it tells us that they had fear just as we do in certain situations. I think it's important that you know this and have these details. There were 12 spies. There were 12 spies in this group, one that had been sent to inspect the land. The other 10 said no way. They were not going to go. They turned down the promised land. I want to ask you, what are you turning down? When you decide not to take a risk, what are you turning down? Are you turning down your healing? Are you turning down that job, that promotion? Are you turning down deliverance in your life? Are you turning down that car that you have been asking God for, that house, as I said, you've been asking God? Let's make it more relatable. Are you turning down that husband that you have been waiting on, that wife that you have been waiting on, that child that you have been asking God to give you? Are you turning down the healing for this world? The healing. We're dealing with COVID-19. Are you turning down that? What are you turning down? Because you do not want to take a risk and you don't believe. What are you turning down? I want to share with you today that there are two paths. There is a path of defeat and there is a path of victory. If you want to get off of that path of defeat, then one of the things that you are going to have to do is stop enlarging your difficulty. Stop making your situation bigger than what it really is. Don't forget how big God is and stop focusing on your enemy. They had seen Moses bring water out of a rock in the desert. They had saw the Red Sea be parted. They had saw food rain down from heaven, but yet they still had forgotten all of those things that God had did for them. And all they could remember is how big those giants were. And that's how we are in life. We forget about the things that God has brought us through, the things that he did for us in the past. And all we see before us is this big giant of sickness, this big giant of God is not going to give me what it is that I really want or I desire. Don't expect the worst. When they went to spy, they expected the worst. They said, if we go in there, we will surely die. They expected the worst. They didn't expect to win. You're in situations, you've been in this place for a long time, and you're asking for something, you desire it, you've been waiting for it, but you don't expect to win. You don't expect to get it. But yet you've been waiting, but you don't have any expectation of getting it. Stop telling yourself that everybody feels the way that you feel about yourself. Everybody doesn't feel the way that you feel about yourself. Not everybody. There may be some. Don't seal your fate with defeat. There is a motivational speaker, and he's also an author. His name is Zig Ziglar. He wrote a book titled See You at the Top. There was a story in this book, and it was talking about how to train fleas. Yes, fleas. And he explained that you can place them in a jar, and of course they're going to, jump out, they're going to get out. But if you place that lid on the top, you're going to hear them, hitting that lid, going back and forth there. But if you just hold on, something is going to change. They're going to stop hitting that lid. And then you'll be able to take the lid off, and they will not be jumping as high. And some may not jump at all, but they won't come out of that jar. Here's why they won't come out of that jar: because they have conditioned their minds. They have conditioned themselves to feel and to think that they cannot go higher. And that's what we have done, some of us, in our lives. We have conditioned ourselves to feel like we cannot go higher, that we won't have this, that we'll just stay in this place. Let me leave this with you. Your personal ability to take a risk is going to be determined by what holds your attention. If you want to be dynamic in your life, if you want to be great in your life, if you want to be dynamic and great in God, then you have to look at God. Keep your attention on him and not the obstacles that you face. Tell yourself that the risk is worth taking. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Feel free to comment to encourage someone.
Hi, thank you for watching.
Wait, give it to Okay, go ahead.
Hi, thank you for watching my aunt's channel. Please don't forget to subscribe and share the video.
Have a good day.